In this video, let's talk about the ideal founding team for your business. And it's kind of the question, the funny question of like, how many people does it take to screw in a light bulb? Well, it depends. If you're just starting a home-based business, it's probably going to be just you. You don't need a founding team. Most home-based businesses, they tend to be automated. The marketing tends to be automated, and you are sort of there's not that much money to be made to split up on a whole team, and it's not particularly investable. So it's just you keeping all the revenue. This conversation gets interesting when you talk about startups that are investable. Think Uber, think mobile apps. And traditionally, they are started there. You need co-founders. If you're looking for investors will specifically ask you about your founding team. And it's a little bit of a yellow flag if you are the only person. So traditional startup teams are 2 to 3 people. 3 is ideal because they're tech heavy. At least 1 or 2 people should be working on the technology side, and 1 is the business and marketing person. And what's very important is that the skill sets are complementary, not overlapping. If you have friends, obviously, who do the same thing as you, it's very easy to invite them into your company, but you are just going to overlap in skill sets. It is just not going to be that helpful. So there's a helpful resource for this. It's called founderdating.com. I'll show you that website in a second. And just be careful, because Paul Graham of Y Combinator, who's seen over hundreds of very successful startups and startup teams, some of which have gone on to have become like billion-dollar companies, he notes, he's widely quoted in that the biggest problem he sees in founding teams is that they've never worked together before. And the biggest success stories happen when founding teams are made up of people who have successfully worked on projects before. Maybe they've worked in companies before together, and then they quit those companies and they go on to do a startup or something like that. Because if you've never worked with someone before, what happens is you start discovering all their flaws and the different ways in which they like to work that's different from you, and all the ways you guys are incompatible after you've signed the paperwork, after you've got into business together. And it's very hard to part ways, and sometimes that actually kills the company. So you want to be very careful and test people out with whom you want to get into business with, maybe by doing small projects, or just maybe instead of partnering with them, if they have a specific skill set, you instead want to hire them cheaply as a contractor, and then maybe later bring them on as a co-founder if they really have good chemistry with you. So definitely keep that in mind, because Paul Graham, he's one of the authoritative voices in the startup industry, so it's very good to listen to him. And if you are looking for co-founders and you're desperate for it, let's go over that Founder Dating website. Here we are. As you can see, it's founderdating.com. You can join. You can see that they actually recently joined forces with something called Co-Founders Lab, which is another thing for co-founders, and they're based in Silicon Valley, and they help people network with co-founders, advisors, mentors. So it's actually more than just co-founders, and eventually, you can network your way up to talking to some investors as well. So try this site if you're really looking for somebody to join your team, but really, first look at people you've worked with before and see if there's anyone there that might be a good fit.